Hello, my friend, and welcome to our masterclass, Small Business Launch Success. And we have very quickly moved on to module 3, which is planning and also promoting your offer. So this is getting your launch sorted. This is collating all of the content, all of the ways that you're going to promote your offer, giving yourself enough time to do this, everything that you need. So let's have a quick recap. By now, we know what your offer is. So taking what it is that you sell and presenting it in a way that connects with your customer, whether that's in terms of bundling some of your products together, bundling the services that you offer to create a service package, describing the current product or service that you offer in a way that connects. Whatever it is, you now have an offer. If you don't have an offer that you're not sure of, you're going to email me on hello@orlab.com or connect with me on social media, and we're going to go through that offer for you, okay? Because we really want you happy. And, nothing's going to be perfect. So let's create it and see where we go from there. We have some sales goals in terms of the income that you want to generate, and we have the price of what you're offering. So we can multiply how many we need to sell. We know what we're going to do if you've reduced the price in terms of increasing the number that you need to sell or planning a upsell in the future. So now it's time to plan your launch. So the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to call in the cavalry. You know this. Take your time with this. This is crucial. So I want you to make a list of all of the ways that you will promote this offer, both online and offline. If you're a hybrid business, both online and offline, and I'm going to give you some examples. So I want you to make a list of Facebook groups, all of the Facebook groups in the area that you're in, okay, that you can promote this. It would be really great if beside the Facebook groups, when you're making that list, you jotted down their guidance, okay? Are you allowed monthly business posts? Are you not allowed to have sales posts at all? Because we can get around that with some questions. We can get around that with asking for advice on how to promote things. We can get around that with testimonials, okay? I want you to make a list of all of the ways on social media, your Instagram page. Have you got previous customers that you could call in as brand ambassadors? Have you got previous customers that you could say, listen, I'm about to launch a really cool offer. We're heavily reliant on, support, word of mouth, recommendations. Can I count on you to share this, right? Make it an invitation, and ask 4 people so that if one says yes, that's amazing, but you're not going to begrudge the other 3 if they say no, okay? This is about leaving it open to work with these people in the future. Okay, are there any cafes that you can put up posters in? Are there any people running classes for a similar audience that you could put some handouts in? All take your time and write down all of the ways that you will promote what you offer. And I want you to consider a day in the life of your customer. Okay, a day in the life of this person. Do they walk into a local cafe? Do they check out a certain Facebook group in the morning? Do they check out their Instagram in the morning? And we're going to write it all down, because remember, somebody has to hear something 8 times to know what it is that you're talking about. And we have to tell them creatively without boring them to death and ourselves to death in a holistic way. Okay, and that's why we're going to do the content plan. Basics, the ways that you're going to promote this: Instagram. If you have TikTok, your Facebook page, your personal Facebook profile, Facebook groups, your website. You might have to do a new product listing. You might have to do a new sales page, your email. I don't care if you've got 1 person on your email or 1 million, you're sending out emails, okay? Because even if that 1 person recommended it to a friend or then went on to share the offer on social media, you don't know what's possible. These are the bare minimum of how you're going to promote it. Let's move away from, I posted it on my Facebook, but no one was interested. We want it everywhere. Okay, so your launch content plan, what we're going to do right now is creating a content strategy to build anticipation for your offer and to effectively sell it, to effectively present it to your customers to buy it. You are not going to get this right the first time. So give yourself permission to fuck this up, because what we're aiming for is consistent launches over time where you get better, you learn more, you tweak more, you get better. This is what's going to happen. So just embrace this, because best case scenario is that you sell shitloads, you reach your targets, and you learn a lesson. Worst case scenario is that you learn shitloads to make your next launch brilliant, okay? So when we're breaking down our content, we will have pre-launch content and we will have launch content. Now, this is where most people get it all wrong. They just go, ta-da, I've got something on offer. And again, we're not giving people the chance. We're not warming people up. We're not being social with them. We're not speaking to them. So you're going to commit. That's why we said in module 1, you're going to leave enough time to warm your audience up. We're going to commit to pre-launch content and launch content. So pre-launch content, it's relevant to what you're offering, but not telling them you have something to offer. Right, so you're spiking their interest, you're talking about your testimonials, you're talking about what it is that you do, you're reminding them of the ethos of your business, you're answering frequently asked questions, but you're not saying buy this, right? We're setting the scene. It's getting them thinking about the problem that you're about to solve. It's a conversation starter. And then we move into our launch content where you present them the offer directly. This is what's offer. Here's what we're selling. It's absolutely amazing. I think it'll be fantastic for you, and I would really like to invite you to join. Again, you're going to use the language that you would use, right? You're inviting them to buy and letting them know the exact next steps. You're talking them through any objections. Now notice we're not squashing objections. We're not overcoming objections, right? We're talking them through what they have in a kind and considerate way. This is not something we need to step on to get our customers. This is something that we need to learn from. Okay, objections are learning opportunities. And we're sharing what's possible in success stories. Okay, so many people want to sell these tremendous transformations, right? And I am all for promoting the transformations of what you offer. But transformations are not guaranteed. Transformations are what is possible. It goes back to what we said earlier. Nobody knows your customer as well as you. So you want to share what's possible, and you want to get them thinking about, what would be possible for you if you attended a children's class that was centered around your parenting style. How would you feel? How would that help you connect with your baby? And then you go, and here's some feedback we've had from other clients. We're selling what's possible. We're getting them to go into their zone of possibility, not our limited vision for their possibility. Okay, so I want you to get your content onto paper. Okay, these questions are not exhaustive. I think I got that right. If I didn't, you know what I mean. You may add other questions to this, all right? But we want to get everything out of your head, okay, so that we can divide your content into this pre-launch and launch content, okay? Now, these questions are in your workbook, but I want you to jot down, why do your clients want your offer, okay? What problems does it solve for your customers? Now, remembering, if it's a luxury item, it's very hard to say, well, the problem is that you don't have enough handbags. The problem is that you don't have enough makeup. The problem is that you don't have enough luxury skincare. It's not really a pain point, but an unmet need is a problem. Because actually, if I want to get myself a new bag, but I'm holding out because I don't want to damage the environment, or I don't want to add to consumerism, that's a problem. So your handbag meets my unmet need, therefore it's solving a problem. Why should they invest in it now? Why do you want this handbag right now? Because it's limited edition. It's one of a kind. Why should I sign up for this brand shoot right now? Because your business needs photographs that are a representation of you. Your customers want to see your face, and you want to show your face as you feel the most confident version of yourself. I want you to consider a 30-second pitch. Now, I don't mean a 30-second pitch in terms of you are not going to meet someone in an elevator that gives a shit about what you do. Okay? You're not. You know that old adage, oh, we might meet Richard Branson in the elevator and I've got 30 seconds to tell him what I do. No, but what you do have is you have a short period of time on Reels. You have a short period of time on Lives. So actually, practicing your 30-second pitch in an authentic way can be used on Reels, on live videos, when you're responding to Facebook posts that might be asking about something similar. Your 30-second pitch is informal, like how you would speak to somebody if they asked you across a coffee table about what you answer, but also confident. Okay, and I want you to think about your experience. Have you ever experienced the desire for what you're offering? How did you feel then? How did you feel? How have previous customers benefited from buying from you? Did they buy this offer or a similar one? What feedback did you get from them? What have you noticed change in their life because of it? What do they say to you? What is the difference you want to make in your customer's life? What's the intention behind this offer? What's the intention behind your classes, your programs, your coaching program, your products? How can you best support your customers? Okay, what are the red flags that they are experiencing? Are there any red flags in their industry? And what might prevent them from buying? Now, usually there's like 3 things that prevent people from buying. Time, money, and will this work for me? Okay, so time is that they don't have the time. Money is that we've not yet conveyed the value so that they're prepared to invest in it. It's not always that they can't afford it. And will it work for me? That's a really important one for anyone in the coaching industry, weight loss industry, social media marketing industry. It's identifying that you know what the bullshit in the industry is and that you understand people and you can help them go that bit further. Okay, so take your time with this, right? Because if you can get this content out of your head and onto paper, you might want to chat to your customers about it. When you do this, you will have so much information available that you'll be able to create content for life. And then you can have the fun bit to be like, okay, how can I turn that 30-second pitch into a reel? Okay, how can I turn it into a carousel post? And then you can then choose the way of conveying this information that works for you. If reels aren't your thing, you can be like, okay, how can I get collaborators to do reels? How can I partner with people? How can I do it on a live video? How can I do it on a photo? We want you sharing your message in a way that works for you and building up to working with the algorithm. Okay. After you've got your content, I want you to consider your launch dates. Okay. Now, your launch dates are very much tied to what it is that you are selling. Okay. If you are selling something like a membership, you might want to have a 1-month launch plan. Okay. If you are selling a networking event, it might be 2 weeks. If you were selling a new, let's say the designer reclaimed leather handbag, the bespoke handbag, you might be like, okay, coming up to Christmas, I am going to have that for like 4 weeks or 3 weeks. You'll know the launch dates. What I would say is don't have it too long because it'll go on a dip. If it's, I'll come in here, if it's your first time doing it, but don't have it too short whereby you're putting pressure on yourself to sell it. In the example that we're going to use, we're going to do a 10-day launch. But I've also given content ideas so you can pad that out to a 14-day, 20-day launch. Feel your way into this. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. It's very much dependent on your business. So work your way back with the end date. When your launch end? If it's an event, you've got a very real deadline that the event has taken place. If it's class, you've got a very real deadline in terms of the class starts. If you're doing a monthly membership, you might sell more at the end of every month, so you might say, okay, the last 2 weeks of every month, I'm focusing on selling the membership for next month. If it's Christmas presents, you've got an end date in terms of the last sales date for Christmas. If it's Black Friday, the end date. And then I want you to think about your launch date. So when is the date that we start to share your launch content, that invitation to buy? Is it 5 days before, 7 days before? In the example, we're going to use 5. And when is your pre-launch date? So when are you going to start to spike their interest and share the content? If you're feeling like, I don't know what to put, just work with me with the 10-day launch. Okay, work with me with the examples that we're given. Try the 10-day launch. See, did you have enough time? If not, we'll add on. And if you had enough time, we'll keep 10-day launches for this going forward, right? Only you'll know, but again, worst case scenario, you will learn shitloads by launching. Okay, so it's a win-win situation for you. I also want you to stay focused, right? This is your main focus. Do not deviate it or be tempted, if you don't mind, to share other content or sell something else, right? Going back to this comfort in the chaos, right? It can be tempting if you're like, oh God, I haven't sold anything. I don't know if this is going to work. To go, oh, here's another thing. You will unless it's part of like a range. Don't do that. This is it. This is your focus for the month. Okay, is this launch? This is what you're focused on. Remember, people are busy, and we don't want to dilute their interest. All right. Okay, so this is our 10-day launch example. Amend is necessary depending on what you are selling. Okay. So we're going to do 5 days worth of pre-launch content, and I'm going to walk you through it day by day, and I'm going to give you examples that I found as well that I like, and you're going to go and you're finding your own example, and in the workbook, you are going to write down this content. Okay, so day number 1, we're going to look at the biggest mistake. Day number 2, we're going to share an About Me post. Day number 3, we're going to answer some frequently asked questions. Day number 4, we're going to spike their interest that something special is coming. Day number 5, we're going to give them a top tip post. In the launch content, day number 1, which is day 6 of the 10 days, we're going to do our launch sales post. We are launching. Day number 2, which is number 7, I bet you're wondering. So we're going to answer relevant questions about what it is that we're launching. Day number 3, 8 out of 10. What's possible? Sell the possibilities. Day 4 of your launch content, 9 out of 10. Will this work for me? That's what goes through your client's mind. Do I want this? Will it make a difference in my life? We're going to share some case studies and testimonials. Day number 5, last call. Here today, gone tomorrow. You need to buy this. So before we get started, I want you to consider the graphics that you're going to need. Now, when you go through this day by day, you know your grid, you know the graphics that you're going to need. You'll know if you're better on video content, if you're better on reels. All of the content that we're sharing can be adjusted. At the bare minimum, you're going to need Instagram graphics, Facebook graphics, email header to send out an email. You're going to need a sales page graphics if you're updating your sales page. Facebook cover photo, posters if you're going to share posters. If you are sharing posters and want to see a QR code on there, you can do that for free on Canva. Reel cover graphics, story graphics, and reel cover graphics again, in case you didn't know. Okay. Now, jot down what you need as we go through the 10 days. And then at the end, add it all up, and you're going to head over to Canva and you're going to make your graphics, all right? So you can see there, this is just an example of one of my trainings where all of the graphics look the same, okay? And we want to make sure that it's that because we're building your brand. So let's get into building your launch. So in this pre-launch content, we've got a day-to-day breakdown and ideas of where to share it, because that's the crucial, because you're not going to post in a Facebook group every day for 10 days. It's just not going to happen. But we are going to post in the Facebook group on the launch day and certain other content and the final call day. All right. You're not going to send an email out every day, but you will send emails out on set days. So day number 1 is the biggest problem. Okay. What is the biggest problem that your client is facing in relation to what you're offering? Okay. We want it to be relatable. So you're going to pick one of your customers and speak to them. So when I think of the biggest problem, so if we were to use the example of the brand photography, one of the biggest problems might be, are you finding that you cannot meet social media's insatiable desire for images? Are you finding that you're sharing the same images over and over again, right? Are you finding that you're sharing images of you from 10 years ago? I do that. So there's loads of questions, there's loads of problems. You know the problem, but you want to flip it around and make it somewhat helpful. You might turn around from the bag example, the designer handbag example, and be like, do you want to buy something new, but you don't want to embrace consumerism? You don't want to become a consumer, you don't want to add to that. And then you could turn around and just say, I used to think that until I started making bags from reclaimed leather. So you're just reminding them. You're not saying buy this bag, but you're saying I used to think that way. Now the biggest problem, you're going to share it on Facebook, you're going to share it on Instagram, you're going to take your Instagram post and you're going to share it in your stories, and then you're going to do a live about it, right? The live is whatever you want. The live could be, one of the biggest problems I've noticed with my customers is this. You can share it in a Facebook group and an email. Now that sounds like a lot, but remember, we've got bills to pay. We want it to be a lot, okay? And the reason that we're doing this on day one, we're not going to share this many on every other day, but it's pretty much about just starting out with a bang so that you can maintain that. So here's an example. I found this today on Instagram and I thought it was amazing. It was a reel. And we all know that Instagram has made lots of changes. They're consistently making changes, but it's a fun reel. And the reel is small business owners trying to navigate Instagram when it keeps changing every 3 seconds. So if I was a social media manager, that's the perfect post to remind people that they have a problem. To remind people that the algorithms have changed again. And if you haven't even caught up to the last algorithm update, well, you're fucked now, aren't you? And this reel was quite funny. I don't have a video of it, but it was a woman basically carrying loads of things and dropping them, right? Because again, you're trying to navigate, but it's stressful. Okay, so I want you to head over to your workbook and I want you to jot out what is the biggest problem and how you want to share that, okay? And how you can share that across all of the platforms. Day 2 is the About Me post. Why you do what you do. Okay, this one you're going to share on Facebook, Instagram, share the post to your stories, and again, do a live on Instagram. You are not going to share this in the Facebook groups. You can if you want to, but and you don't necessarily have to send an email, but again, you can if you want to. You're going to feel your way into this, but what we don't want to do is peak too soon in the groups and peak too soon on the email when we want to save that for your actual sales post. So the content prompt is remind people of who you are, what you do, and why you care so much about your clients. Now, I've got a lovely example for this. I love these guys, the Happy Pear. They're based in Ireland and they have a vegan cafe and they do loads of different vegan products that they sell around in shops and everything. But what I love about this is they've just opened up a fruit and veg shop. And they are reminding people. So it's reminding people it's a vegan restaurant. It's about life. It's about healthy food. It's about vibrancy. So, a natural step is for them to have their own farm. So when they spoke about it, they're like, this has been a dream of ours since starting 17 years ago to get our hands in the soil. The goal of the farm is to connect us all and our community to the earth and our food supply and to inspire others to grow more veg. Now, can I ask you a question? If you were choosing to go to 2 vegan restaurants side by side, which one would you prefer? The one that's like, oh, come and get like our Beyond Meat, come and get like our fake sausages, come and get this, I'm not criticizing that, but it's like that, or come to the people who pick the fruit and veg themselves, who grow it, who are inspiring other people to grow more veg, especially in the current climate with the cost of living that everyone's talking about it, and it's a simple post. Like, it's a super simple post. It's a photo of them outside their shop with all of this amazing produce. So your About Us post can be as authentic as you make it, right? But make it really about what you want to say, not what you think you should say. Okay. Day number 3. So again, we've not told anyone we're selling anything yet, but we're gently reminding them they've got a problem. This is who we are. And then we're going to answer common questions, right? So again, relatability, pick one customer and speak directly to them. Where to share, we're going to be on Facebook, Instagram, stories, live. Content prompts. So what are the common questions that you get asked? You get asked about the price. You get asked about the time. You get asked about, will it work for you? You know, and you could start your post by the most common questions I'm asked is, you know, one of the things people say to me again and again is, you know, and again, I want you to consider what graphics you need. And this is an example of the common question, but they've almost flipped it around as a how-to, which I really, really like. You know, and it's a how do I style your product. So this is for Spanx, and it's a skirt product. So a skirt that's also a pair of shorts. And they've done a cool reel showing 3 ways on how to style the product. So, you know, they don't have to say, this is a question I get asked again and again. You can if you want to, but they're basically using reels, using what's working to answer common questions. How to style a Spanx skirt. Okay, head over to the workbook and write down what content you're going to use for answering common questions. Okay, so day 4. We're almost finished our pre-launch content, and you're letting them know that I am working on something special. Okay, now this is, you're going to share a bit more because you've got something to do. You can share this on Facebook, Instagram stories, lives, but you can also use your stories to do polls. You can do Q&As. You could put up the question box and say, guess what I'm working on. You could share a photo of your offer, but cover it over. You know how you can cover it over and you can say, can you guess what this is? This is about letting them know that something is amazing is coming, and again, spiking their interest, you know? So you could do a poll. Do you want to guess what I'm working on? Do you have this problem? You can ask them the problem again, you know, and have you ever felt this way? And you could ask them to vote. You know, there's so many things that you can do. Would you be interested in this? Yes or no? You know, and you know, lots of people do it. They go, would you be interested in this? Yes or hell yes, you know? Here's an example. It's a little bit more difficult to read, but this is something special is happening. And this is a little video that's like something special, and then it's like skincare. So then they've got something special is coming, special new news, guess who, have you noticed it? You know, and this is a skincare product. So it's literally just having a post on there that telling them something special is coming. Okay? So I want you to think about how best you could share this on the platforms that you work with, right? You know, if it's Facebook, you could bring out if you make a product, you could have it in a bag, and you could be like, guys, I've got something amazing in this box. I'm going to be announcing it next week. I'm so excited to share with you. I'm really excited. I want to share it right now, but I can't. Do you want to guess below what it is? You know, you can send an email out like that. You could do a boomerang. There are so many options. It's up to you, right? But I want you to let them know that something special is brewing, and I want you to do that in a way that works for you. Okay, final day of your pre-launch content, and this is your top tip post. So kind of like the other one where it's your frequently asked questions post. So the frequently asked questions is you answering the questions that you get asked all the time. The top tip is you kind of taking what, you know, the red flags. You know this is a problem, but I don't get asked it all the time, but I'd really like as an expert to share this anyway. Okay, now this one, Facebook, Instagram stories, live on Instagram. You could do it in Facebook groups. You can email again, something is coming, and have some top tips. And I want you to share a tip that will genuinely help your customers, okay, in relation to what you do. 3 ways to, how to, did you know that? Make it super helpful. I absolutely love this girl. She's over in Glasgow, absolutely amazing. And she has 5 real features you've never noticed, right? And as a social media manager, what I love about this post is reels are changing all the time. Instagram's changing all the time. We know you need to be using more reels. And if you get somebody onto reels, looking at reels by telling them about these 5 real features, you're perceived then as the expert. Okay. So guys, that's the 5 days of pre-launch content. This might sound like a lot of work, but I can guarantee you that you are launching anyway, right? Whether you put a strategy behind this or you faff about and you go with the flow, you're launching. The only difference is in the results and the learning. So we want you to learn and get excited about this and have some fun. Look at all the examples that I've shared. Everything's different. Everything's got their own personality attached. And what you have to find is a way of sharing this content that you feel comfortable with. And the only way that you're going to do that is speaking to one person using the voice that you would naturally use to them if they were sitting across the table from you. Okay, so your launch content, telling them we have something on offer and inviting them to buy it. So it's a day-to-day breakdown for 5 days and ideas on where to share it. So your first post it's specifically a launch post. It's telling them what's on offer, sharing an image that will spike attention, and letting them know. So where to share? Fucking everywhere. Everywhere. Facebook, Instagram stories, lives, Facebook groups, emails, collaborators. Adjust this message based on the platform, but we want everyone sharing this on that same day. When we're doing a content prompt, we want to have what's known as an ethical hook. Okay, so we want to ask a question that's not going to piss your customers off. So for an example, with the brand photography, we might want to say, do you want to get excited about sharing your photos on social media? We don't want to say, oi, are you still using photos from 10 years ago? That's ridiculous. We want to get that balance right. We want to tell them, why is this a problem? What is on offer and what does this mean? And an invitation to buy. So basically, if you've never written a sales post before, I want you to start looking at sales posts. And I want you to consider that what they need is a hook. You want to grab their attention. You want to chat them through the problem, why it's there. You want to tell them what's on offer, the solution to the problem. And what does this mean for them? And you want to invite them to buy, right? And I'm going to share my example with this one. Okay. I want to share mine. Mine's slightly different. This is for a training I did last year. And I was like, I'm pouring my heart into this. So it boots you into business shape well before January, so you can start 2022 with a bang. This masterclass is designed to teach you how to show up and remain disciplined to consistently grow your business in a way that works for you. This is an action-based masterclass, right? So this is me selling, me saying, and I've got an image attached to that says, the Growth Lab. Okay, so you have to write a sales post. Okay, now I have an example in the next one of a similar sales post, which I think you're going to like as well. Right, so day 7, which is day 2 of our launch, our launch content. What makes this offer so special? Okay, why have you created it just for your clients? Where you're going to share this, Facebook, Instagram stories, and tell them how happy you are to have created this offer and excited to launch it. And you want to end every post from here on in with an invitation to buy and telling them exactly how to buy. So I also want you to consider what graphic you need. So here's the example. Marks and Spencer's are working with that Tom Kerridge, I don't know if I'm saying that right, for a Remarksable Value Meal Planner. So that's the offer, a Remarksable Value Meal Planner. So what I love about this, if you look at this post, they've got a photo of Tom, which I've cut out. And in the post, they've got who's already tried the recipes from the Remarksable Meal Planner. Okay, so they've asked the question. That's your hook. Getting people in, asking them a question. If you're not yet to give them a go, get started with his smoky, spicy chicken thighs with zingy herb rice salad. So what they're basically doing is they're letting you see inside it. They're showing you behind the scenes so you can see how amazing it is. If you were doing a product, you might have a video of you unboxing the product and talking them through how it feels, how it smells, how beautiful it is. Look at that packaging. Look how amazing it is. It's incredible. Right? If you were selling a service, you might have a slow motion video of a day-to-day of that service and say, this is our last brand photography shoot. This is our last class. This is our last boot camp. This is what happened. Oh my God, it was amazing. absolutely incredible. Okay, if you're selling a course, if you're selling an online product, you can do videos of that course, videos of that online product. Here they've got the exact menu. They tell you how to preheat the oven, and at the bottom they tell you how to access the Remarksable Value Meal Planner. Okay, day 8 is a this could be you in just X days. This is your testimonial, aka selling the possibilities, right? So again, you're speaking to that one person, where you're going to share it: Facebook, Instagram, stories. Bonus, by the way, if you get video testimonials, interviews, bonus for interviews, anything where you're getting that peer endorsement by, it's peer for the other customer, peer to peer, customer to customer, saying these guys are amazing. So for example, Tracy's story: make your customer the star of the show, and end the post with an invitation to buy. So this is an example for myself. This is Kay's experience, one of my one-to-one clients that I worked with earlier this year. So if you notice, I would never say Orla's, how Orla works, right? It's Kay's experience. So it's about the client. It's about what they've achieved. They're always the star of the testimonial. So rather than Orla did, and I specifically say this to people when I'm asking for testimonials, do not say Orla did, because it's not about Orla. Say, I achieved X when working with Orla, and then you can list your experience, right? And, I've shared that through video content. I've shared that through reels. Really, with testimonials, it's always about thinking, okay, if it's all about you as the business, then you're the star. If it's all about what I achieved, how much I enjoyed the product, how much I enjoy the service as a customer, you're the guide, but me as the customer, I'm the star of the show. And that's what customers want. Nobody wants to look at a business going, that business is amazing. Everyone wants to look at a business and go, what will I get out of it? So that's what you're doing with your testimonials. Again, day 9, sell the possibilities. Very similar to the testimonials. Will this work for me? And this is about posing those questions that are inspiring, posing those questions where we touch on the transformations without making guarantees that we cannot guarantee. So again, you're going to have it speak to one person: Facebook, Instagram stories. This can be an email as well. Email. Content prompt. What's possible for your clients if they buy this offer? Talk about the results and any questions they may have. Guys, if by now you're thinking she's asking me to share a lot of content, it's because I am asking you to share a lot of content, right? You're not going to bore people. This is a 10-day launch. Only 5 of it are we selling, right? So you might think, oh my God, I'm going to bore people to death. You are not. If you got to as many people as you think you'd get to with this content, I would be asking you for money. You are not sharing loads of content. You are launching. Right, so here's an example. This one I just thought was amazing. It was like, what if by putting you first? I don't even know what's on offer here, but I know I like that question. So, that could be, you could sell anything with that. You could sell, food, health care plans. You could sell photography. You could sell products. What if by putting you first? And then you start to talk about, what's possible for you? What's possible if you didn't have to worry about cooking the kids dinner every day? What's possible for you if you didn't have to worry about somebody doing your social media? What's possible for you if you weren't afraid to share your business every day? Always sell what's possible. And guys, this is our last day. Oh, sorry. If I was running an event and I was doing what's possible, I would be like, what would be possible for you? For example, the collaboration club, the networking that I jointly run. I would say, what would be possible for you if you could come along, make friends, have a wonderful time, feel amazing? What's possible for you? Very different proposition there to come along, very different. Last day, day 10 of our launch, day 5 of our launch content. So this is the last day. It's the last call post. Now you're going to be sending out a few on this last day. So you might do 2 to 3 posts, and you might have an email, but this you really want everywhere. And again, you're not going to bore people. I can guarantee that. If some people unsubscribe from your list, that's okay. They weren't meant to be there. Where to share: Facebook, Instagram stories, live on Instagram, Facebook groups, email collaborators, everywhere, just for the platform. You want to invite them to buy today. This is their last chance to get this offer. And again, you don't want to scare them. Nobody's going to die if they don't buy this offer. So I hate the emails that are like, you will regret this. Well, I'm not going to regret it. I might have remorse. I might be like, oh shit, I'm disappointed I didn't get that. But I'm certainly not going to be crying in the corner. If anything, I'm going to be more eager to get it the next time, right? So you don't have to embrace scare tactics here. What you do have to do is ethically let them know this is the last day they can get this. I mean, it's great if you have an event, if you have Black Friday, if you have Christmas, if you have Valentine's Day, and they can't go past that. Where it's a little bit more difficult is if it's an evergreen thing and you're going to be selling it tomorrow anyway. So I want you to consider that in your launches as well. So here's an example. I got this email and it was from Marie Forleo. It was called The Final Push. When it's gone, it's gone. Right. So the email came through and is like, as you know, registration for the Copy Cure closes today at 7 p.m. So now it's time to decide, where will you be tomorrow? Notice that, selling the possibilities. Where will I be tomorrow? You could keep going it alone, agonizing over copy and pushing out the same ineffective market message without getting the results you deserve. I'm not going to read through it all, but what I mean is they're letting me know today's the last day. Again, they're saying what's possible. So they're not going to say you will be lying in a heap tomorrow. They're saying, where will you be tomorrow? Will you be excited about this, or will you be thinking you've missed it out and you're still going it alone? Then they're reminding me of exactly what's in there. They're giving me that behind the scenes. And then they're inviting me to buy. And they're saying, click here to buy. Click here to buy. Okay? So, 10 days, guys. We've covered it. We got there in the end. This has been 40 minutes of full-on information. So I am going to end this with tricks up your sleeve, right? So we mentioned call to actions, these invitations to buy, right? And there's 3 things that you need. You need relevance. So you need that action word telling them what to do. You need clarity. What is it they're doing? And you need urgency. So relevance, buy, confirm that you're attending, download, join us, shop. You choose the word, and you'll choose how you're going to phrase it, but you want it to be consistent. I'd really like you to invite you to buy this, and so you'd say, buy the course, confirm your space, join the call, join the masterclass, join the webinar, shop the look. And you want to have that sense of urgency in your call to actions. Buy the course before the spaces fill up. You could put in brackets, limited spaces available. Very good when we're selling that designer handbag because we only have one of them. Confirm your space today. Join the call now. Shop the look today. Okay. So I want you to consider, what if your launch is longer than 10 days? Now you probably hate me and you're like, I don't want to create that much content. But if your launch is longer than 10 days, that's okay. You'll extend your pre-launch and your launch periods accordingly, okay? You'll start with smaller launches to build up your confidence, and you'll feel your way into long-term success, okay? If you want more content ideas, we could look at red flags in your industry. We could elaborate on your story. So, we use the example of the happy pair. We might do a guided tour of the farm. We might do a then and now post showing this is how we started out with a dream of growing our own food, and this is us now. You can always share more testimonials. You can always share more of a breakdown of your offer, and you can always share why you're an expert. If you are doing longer launches, I want you to always consider having some tricks up your sleeve, right? For all of your launches, having some tricks up your sleeve. Prepare your collaborators in advance and a list of people who'll share your offer. This is especially important if you've got a smaller audience or if you don't have as many people looking to buy what you're offering. Okay, you want to get that out there. Consider early birds. Okay, one of the fundamentals of human behavior is people only take action when there's a need to do so, right? So we know that from tax returns in January, everyone's rushing to do it. We know that from shops been busy on Christmas Eve. So if you give people an early bird, they have to take action. If you give people a limited number on offer, they have to take action. Okay, I also want you to consider scheduling your content so you do not lose momentum. Okay, schedule your content so you do not lose momentum. Have a post-launch email. You missed out, so we'll be extending for another 24 hours. So when one of my clients was doing a launch recently, I missed the deadline. And I think I got it by about like 5 minutes. And I sent her a message and I said, listen, if I miss the deadline, other people would have missed the deadline, right? We're not asking you to lie and to go, oh my God, you guys missed the deadline, so I'm extending this. But you can tell the truth and you can say, listen, I got an email at 5 to 12 last night by somebody who almost missed the deadline. I would hate for that to happen to you too, so I'm extending it for another 12 hours, right? You can do that, but what you don't want to do is lie up until that point, but you can do that. We've got there, my friends. We are at the end of this module. I've got one more module left where we're going to tie everything together, but I hope you found that helpful, and I look forward to seeing lots of your launches shared soon. Bye for now.